Hello everyone, I'm back to continue with the revision of the April 2023 Boardroom Dynamics paper that we had begun earlier on with question number 1. We've done question number 2, we've done question number 3, 4. Today we'll be answering the last question, question number 5. It's my hope that you've attempted question number 5 before joining this session. The question is just like the other questions in 3 parts, A, B, and C. We will answer part A first, then we proceed to answer B and C thereafter. Question 5A reads, describe 3 standards of good corporate governance as stipulated by the Capital Markets Authority Code or its equivalent. 3 standards of corporate governance. Standards of corporate governance. Now, the 3 standards, there are many standards of corporate governance. The question required candidates to describe 3. Now, the first one is in relation to board independence. All right. Number 2 is transparency and disclosure. Then the third one is shareholders' rights. Those are 3 standards of good corporate governance as stipulated by the Capital Markets Authority Code. Board independence. 3 standards of good corporate governance. 3 standards. Three standards of good corporate governance by the Capital Markets Authority Code. The first one I've said is board independence. Board independence. Board independence is one standard, and this standard emphasizes having a significant number of independent directors on the board who are not associated with the company's management or major shareholders. Why? Because independent directors bring unbiased perspectives and acts as a check on the executive decisions, enhancing accountability and transparency. The second standard is known as transparency and disclosure. Transparency and disclosure. Candidates, good corporate governance requires companies to maintain a high level of transparency in their operations and provide timely and accurate information to the shareholders as well as the stakeholders. That includes regular financial reporting, that includes disclosure of material information and adherence to relevant regulations. Transparency and disclosure. Another standard is shareholder rights. Shareholder rights. Shareholder rights. The rights of the shareholders. The code promotes the protection of shareholder rights and ensures that all shareholders are treated fairly. All shareholders are treated equitably. It also includes measures such as facilitating shareholder interests or even voting rights, ensuring equal access to information, protecting minority shareholder interests, and so on. So these are 3 standards of good corporate governance by the Capital Markets Authority Code. 3 marks. 1, 2, 3, 3 marks. That's part A. Part B, determine 4 situations where avoidance would be the most suitable method to manage conflict. Let me answer it. This side, the question is about management of conflict. So the first one is, we are answering that this is part B. Situations, 4 situations where avoidance would be most suited method to resolve conflicts or to manage conflict. Situations, 4 situations where avoidance would be most suited to manage conflicts. Candidates, there are many methods that can be used to manage conflicts. We always say conflicts are inevitable. Where people are working together, conflicts are inevitable because people are different, people are cultured differently. There are many other factors that can contribute to conflicts in an organizational setup. And there are many methods that can be used to avoid or manage conflicts. And the question required candidates to suggest 4 situations where avoidance would be a suited method to manage conflict. And that means that avoidance is one of the methods that can be employed in managing conflict. So what are these situations that can call for the management to resort to avoidance in order to manage conflict? One of the situation is where we have what we call deep-seated personal conflicts. Deep-seated personal conflicts. Deep-seated personal conflicts. In situations where individuals have long-standing personal conflicts that cannot be easily resolved, then avoidance may be the most appropriate approach. Why? In order to prevent the conflict from escalating further. Where individuals have long-standing conflicts, then in such a situation, avoidance would be the best suited method to manage conflict. It may not resolve, but we're talking about managing. Because if you don't resolve to avoidance, if you resort to other methods of resolving such conflict, then it can lead to escalation of the conflict. Deep-seated personal conflicts. The second situation, number 2, is a situation where emotions are running high. What we call high emotional intensity. High emotional intensity. High emotional intensity. When emotions are running high and the parties involved are not able to have a constructive discussion, then avoiding the conflict temporarily can give them time to cool down and approach it later on when they are more rational. High emotional intensity. That's a situation where avoidance would be the most suited method to avoid or to manage conflicts. Avoidance is also recommended where there are trivial issues. Trivial issues. In some cases, conflicts may arise over minor or inconsequential matters. So facing such trivial issues may not be worth the time, may not be worth the effort, and avoidance then can prevent unnecessary disruptions. Where the issues are trivial, inconsequential, minor, then avoidance could be the most suited method to manage conflicts. 4, external interference. External interference. If the conflicts involves parties from outside the organization, such as competitors or even stakeholders, with conflicts, with conflicting shareholders or stakeholders with conflicting interests, then avoiding the conflict may be a strategic move to maintain focus on internal goals. Do you understand? Internal interference. If the conflicts involve parties from outside the organization, if the conflicts involve stakeholders, people external to the organization, then it may be worthwhile to avoid such conflicts so as to concentrate on internal matters, internal goals, avoidance. All right? So these are 4 situations: deep-seated personal conflicts, high emotional intensity, trivial issues, and external interference. These are 4 situations. How many marks? This would earn 4 marks. Then lastly, we are going to answer question number 5C. Explain 4 benefits of evidence-based decision making. Benefits of evidence decision making. Evidence-based decision making. Benefits. Benefits of evidence-based decision making. What are the evidence? What are the benefits of evidence-based decision making? Now, one benefit of evidence decision making is improved accuracy. It leads to improved accuracy. Improved accuracy. Evidence-based decision making relies on data, relies on facts, and research rather than assumptions or intuition. That is the meaning of evidence-based decision making. This is decision making where the decision maker relies on facts, relies on research, relies on data in making decisions. And this approach, therefore, leads to a more accurate and reliable decisions, reducing the risk of errors and so on. You understand? Evidence-based decision. Number 2 is better risk assessment. Better risk assessment. Better risk assessment. Evidence-based decision making allows organizations to assess potential risks more objectively, and by analyzing historical data and trends, decision makers can identify potential pitfalls and develop strategies to mitigate them. The third benefit is enhanced objectivity. Objectivity is enhanced. Enhanced objectivity. Now, candidates relying on evidence promotes objectivity in decision making. Why? Because personal biases and emotions are minimized, and decisions are based on logical analysis rather than subjective opinions. Enhanced objectivity. Number 4 increased confidence. Increase confidence. Evidence-based decisions are backed by data, as I said earlier, are backed by facts, they are also backed by research, which provides decision makers with a high level of confidence in their choices. And candidates, this confidence is essential when communicating decisions to stakeholders and implementing them effectively. So these are 4 benefits of evidence-based decision making. 1, improved accuracy. 2, better risk assessment. 3, enhanced objectivity. 4, increased confidence. 4 benefits. How many marks? 8 marks. So candidates, all in all, we can say that evidence-based decision making fosters a culture of accountability and continuous improvement within an organization, leading to more effective and successful outcomes. So these are 4 benefits, 8 marks. So we've completed answering questions that were tested in April 2023 Boardroom Dynamics for Certified Secretaries. We've done question number 1 up to question number 4 in the previous sessions. Today we answered question number 5. Thank you for attending this session. I advise you to keep revising. When answering the questions, try and not to rely on books when answering the questions. Try to use the most effective method of studying, which is active recall. Put the books aside when revising. Take a paper like this one and a blank book. Answer the questions without referring to the notes or the videos. Thereafter, you can now check with our solutions and see where you need to improve. Thank you for attending the lesson. We are dedicated and committed to providing solutions for the certified secretaries. All past paper questions, we have answered them and they are available on our website. If you have any question, please feel free to write to us. Below this video, there is a comment section where you can post your answers. You can send in your questions and all your questions will be answered. You can also call us, and if you want to seek clarification on any of the materials that we provided, feel free to do so. Also to inform you, we've developed books, both study texts and revision books for all the subjects that are examined under the Certified Secretaries course. Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye.